Good morning, everybody. Happy Saturday. Good morning, Miss Sharon.
Yes, good morning, Rona. Happy Saturday and happy first Saturday of December. Tama ba? Oo, first
That's
Saturday of
right.
December.
It's December. It's about 21 days till Christmas. Can you believe it?
Yes.
Uh, that means we've been doing the Love Wins live forum for over 6 months now, and we're so happy that you've joined us and that you're here with us this morning. So I'm Rona Bonifacio, editor in chief of Inspirations.ph, and of course, Ms. Sharon Fabianis, managing director of Themes and Motives.
Yes, good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us again this Saturday. It's our 28th episode. So, for those who have been joining us every Saturday morning since May 16, maraming salamat po. Inabot na tayo ng, hindi inabot, but umabot tayo ng December. So, here's looking forward to spending more Love Wins mornings with you. Yeah.
Yes. We have great news no, to open up the show is that if you were with us a couple of weeks ago, we did the Bangon Kapatid fundraiser and we launched it here at the Love Wins Live Forum. So we want to thank you also for giving, for partnering with us, for donating and helping out those who are in need and those from the wedding industry who were badly hit by Typhoon
Mhm.
Ulysses. And this week, I think we were we able to award the help, or I think we were able to shortlist already the people that we that your donations and your help was able to will be able to bless.
Yes, oo. So ito na yung Rona, these are the people who are the beneficiaries of all the funds that we have raised. Yeah.
Yes. So
See,
go ahead.
good. This is in partnership with Philippine Association of Wedding Planners. Yeah.
And so these are the beneficiaries and the people whom you've helped, and it's also up in themesandmotives.com. So again, thank you for your help and your support. And we couldn't really do this, and we couldn't raise this amount without this. Oh yes, sure. Sorry, Miss Sharon.
Yeah, that's a total of 109,000, no? Na
Yeah,
donated by our viewers for this
yeah.
cause.
Which will be awarded to the four beneficiaries. Names you see on the screen. So thank you and God bless all of you. This morning we've invited a guest. Actually, she's not really a guest. She's more of a friend, I would say, of the Love Wins Live Forum because she's joined us previously, and we thought this morning that it would be great to have her back and talk again about how to celebrate our wedding safely. It's December. I'm so happy. I'm seeing so many couples pushing through with their weddings. In fact, just this week, I was so moved or baka kinilig. Kinilig ako when I saw the wedding of um, Bettina Carlos, the
That's
host.
right. Oo.
And we put it up on inspirations.ph because she did two weddings in a day. And I remember um, episodes past, we said before na, you could have a whole day affair if you wanted to, di ba? You could get married, have a breakfast, lunch, and dinner celebration. And that's what she did. So it was so inspiring to see that and inspiring to see how, in just a few months they were able to pull it off. And
Mhm.
I know that a lot of you are getting married and you have 2 or 3 months to plan your wedding and you have questions like, um, should I do all the testings? Because it's becoming the norm now. Maraming nagtitest for the suppliers and the guests, or what is really the safest way for me to go about hosting my wedding? And so that's really our topic this morning. And we'd like to call in to the Love Wins live forum and welcome, of course, Dr. Anna Yarquando. Good morning, Dr. Anna.
Good morning,
Hello
Dr.
everyone,
Anna.
magandang umaga po. Hi, how are you all? Lahat po ng nanonood. Ang tagal na pala ng themes and motives since May 16, guiding our soon-to-be weds and our wedding suppliers. Miss Rona, Miss Sharon, it's really an honor and a pleasure for me to be with all of you this Saturday. Thank you for inviting me for the second time back. And I'm so excited po to share um, the medical perspective po on safe weddings. And also, I'm also a member of the event, proud member po ng events industry. And I'm praying and hoping na we will bounce back. Actually, we're already bouncing. Ang gusto na lang nating malaman is yung bouncing back safely.
Safely,
Right.
yes. Oo, yan. O, si Dr. Anna, she's also into event styling, doktora, no? And supplier siya ng flowers. So that's why, kaya
Yes.
sabi niya, proud member yan siya ng events industry. So, talagang talagang direct, ano ka pala, doktora,
Ay naku, ganun
beneficiary
kami.
ng effect ng COVID. Hindi lang sa pagiging doktor, pati ang iyong yung business, no, yung family business ninyo, affected din ng pandemic na to. So maganda you're coming from a very interesting perspective, no, as a medical health expert, and also at the same time na appreciate mo rin where the suppliers and of course yung ating mga suntuweds are coming from. May appreciation ka nung wedding celebrations sa atin dito sa Philippines. Yun. So it's so nice to have you back with us. Thank you for joining us again. Last time you were with us, August 1. And at the time, Rona, wala pang masyadong nangyayaring weddings, no? Parang wishful thinking pa lang ang mga tao. And we discussed with Doktora, if and when our couples would decide to push through, or dapat ba i-push through, yun yung mga pinag-uusapan natin, ano-ano ang things to look out for. So, August, September, October, November, 4 months, 4.5 months later, syempre marami na tayong natutunan in the medical field, Doktora. You've learned more about this virus. Na-observe na natin ano ang mga nangyayari ngayong pandemic. So ibang perspective na ngayon, 4 months later. And this is what we'd like to discuss with Doktora, especially dahil ang December at January, yan ang most number of weddings in the Philippines traditionally. And now we're seeing, if you have friends who are getting married, alive na ulit sila sa ating mga news feed, sa ating social
Yes.
media. Nangyari na ulit ang weddings. Yan. At ang ano nga natin, di ba, Doktora? Paano tayo makakasigurado na safe nating sineselebrate ang ating mga weddings at intimate gatherings, especially now na parating na rin ang holiday season?
Thanks, Miss Sharon, for inviting me and Miss Rona. It's a pleasure for me to join you. Also, I've been watching po kahit hindi ako ang guest, so I'm also learning a lot from fellow suppliers. And maganda po yung tinanong nyo, how can we be totally safe? The answer po is we cannot be totally safe. Wala po talagang 100%. Just crossing the road po, pwede tayong masagasaan eh. But what we can institute po are science-based and logically based po strategies para po ma-reduce po tayo talaga ng risk of getting sick. And I think that's the most important, which is to follow the science po, reassure everyone to the best of our ability, and to go through with our life, personal and family events po in the safest way that we know. Science is changing every day. Yung mga nalaman po natin 4 months ago, yung iba po nadagdagan, yung iba po napalitan. So we're here to update everyone po. So unfortunately, science is ever changing, which is also good in a way. Para we need to keep updating ourselves and always realize that wala pong 100% eh. Pero kung maibaba po natin talaga so that everyone feels comfortable, then I feel that we have reached our goals.
Right.
Alright. So,
So,
Doc, ulitin ko sinabi niyo, wala pong 100% foolproof, COVID-free in any type of gathering. Kahit na sundin po natin yung sinasabi nilang certain percentage of a venue. kahit na gawin natin lahat ng testing, we cannot be 100% na hindi magkakaroon ng transmission.
Yes, Miss
Interesting.
Sharon. I mean, wala naman ho. Like, for example, high blood kayo, you ate the lechon, inatake kayo right there. Alam mo yon? Those kinds of things are going to happen. Sometimes may madadapa, no? And I think that we need to think of COVID in that way.
Right.
Hindi siya talaga, it's not. Of course, yun ang pandemic of the moment, ano po. But I think we need, sa tinagal-tagal po ng panahon, I think we have to accept that COVID is going to be part of our landscape talaga. Whether it be an event, whether it be a business, whether it be your own family. And the best way that we can work around it and work with it. Hindi po siya talaga mawawala eh.
Right.
And sa tingin ko po, the thinking na I'll wait for it to stop is already unrealistic.
Right.
Yes, there are going to be vaccines, and again, mapapalitan na naman yung medical landscape natin with the vaccines and so many new developments coming around. Pero what I'd like to stress to everyone is it's here. Let's accept it, and then let's work around it. It's very, very possible. Yan. Very,
Yeah.
very possible.
So I guess what's important about the first reminder that Dr. Anna gave is that nothing is 100% safe, which is true. Whether it's pre-pandemic or now that in the pandemic, meaning yung lumabas tayo para mag-grocery, mamili ng gamot, there's still also the risk, di ba, because there's exposure. So, and the same with weddings. But the thing is, I guess people are asking, are weddings really super spreaders? Diba? Kasi yun yung fear, and there are articles coming around na so this happened in a different country that I think because the problem was there was no safety protocols that was followed. So nagka-headlines, diba? I don't know kung umabot sa inyo yung news na yon na because of a certain wedding in another country, there were people who got sick, people who weren't part of the wedding who contracted the COVID, but it was because of the wedding. Now, personally, I of course, because we're in the wedding industry, I had to read up, I had to research. And when I opened that article, I saw that unang-una sa lahat, ang problema was, wala pong sumunod ng safety protocols. Mismo in the event. And then after, right? Now, people were sharing this article based on the headline alone. Which of course is for us at the wedding industry, medyo masakit po for us to be tagged na the events that you hold, ganyan. But I think what people missed out when they were sharing this article was that the minimum safety protocols were missing, completely missing at the event and post-event, right? So, kayo po ba, Dr. Anna, would you say that it is possible for us to have weddings safely? Is it?
Miss Rona, Miss Sharon, magugulat kayo sa sinasabi ko, pero matutuwa rin kayo. Kasi as a medical expert, I'm also a lung specialist. I give talks all over the Philippines. Sa akin lang a properly done wedding is even safer than all other. It's even safer than going to the grocery, okay? So, kasi I have complete trust po in the profession, yung professional ability po ng ating planners. I know the wedding industry personally. Tayo po, it's to our benefit na makabalik po tayo because if something like that happen po dito, lahat po tayo matatamaan eh. So talagang nakikita ko naman po yung dedication talaga ng ating wedding industry. And I really stand behind my statement na properly done, a wedding can even be safer than most of the events that you are doing by yourself or the daily events that you are doing.
What
Kasi
is
with the
properly
safety
done?
protocols talaga. Yon ang magandang usapan natin, Miss Sharon.
Yan. Ano yung mga yan, doktora, na dapat maalala at gawin ng mga ikakasal or hindi lang ikakasal, mag-a-attend ng kasal or tayong mga nasa wedding industry, you will work during the event. What are the things that you should remember and should make it a point na gagawin mo? Yan.
Ako talaga, Miss Sharon, Miss Rona, napakaganda ng sinabi ni Miss Rona. I read that article myself and I truly agree po na sinabi nyo. That title should have been Wedding Guests Without Masks Become Super Spreaders, not weddings, okay? Wedding
Yes.
guests. Kasi ginawa yun ng tao, hindi yun ginawa ng event, okay? It could have been any event. It could have been schools, it could have been conferences. Parang sumakit din yung loob ko dun sa nabasa ko pong yun. Parang feeling ko unfairly naman po na-stigmatize yung wedding industry. But sometimes, clickbait talaga yan eh. Wala naman, of course, everybody knows naman na you have to wear a mask, hindi lang sinusunod. So,
Yes.
siguro po step one talaga sa akin yung sinabi po ni Ms. Rona, and I truly agree with that. And guided po by the IATF po, no? The Interagency Task Force, before we talk about ventilation, before we talk about number of persons, ako talaga I stress personal responsibility. At ito po talaga yung also always wearing a mask, pwede rin pong mag-face shield, dan nakakadagdag po talaga yon. Our social distancing po, at saka yung magiging behaviors po natin during the wedding. Yun na lang po, that alone in itself has power. Kasi as I mentioned before, yung mask and face shield, 90% yan eh. And then, ito pang I wanted to idagdag ko about social distancing, which is new. Yung atin pong social distancing was formulated, the 6 feet or 1 meter po, that was measured without a mask. Both persons without masks.
Okay.
So, if both persons are wearing masks, sobrang safe. 90% na po nga yung without mask na social distancing. Kung naka-mask pa po yung mga tao, mas lalong safe. Of course, I cannot tell you, Doktora, when wearing mask, what now is the safe distance? Wala kasing na-studying ganun eh. Pero let's take comfort in that we are piling layer upon layer of safety para po there's two issues kasi about safety, which is the actual physical safety and yung pakiramdam po ng mga guests, or what we call po yung psychological feeling of safety. So yun
Right.
po. If we do that, para siyang multiple layers of safeness eh. Kung ano yung butas ng isa, natatakpan ng isa, parang ganon. So nagtatapal-tapal tayo to eventually put up with a safe mo safe. Parang ganon.
So number 1 is do not skip safety protocols.
Yes. And I would like to stress, oo talaga. And corollary to number 1 is, testing is only pandagdag. Okay? Hindi po tayo, we cannot live on testing. No matter what kind of testing. We now know, matagal na, everybody knows po, that swab testing po, or yung tinatawag na RT-PCR testing is our gold standard. At yun na po yung ginagamit talaga ng marami ngayon. Testing is an adjunct. It is good. Okay, wala naman pong sama. I can't tell you that it's wrong. Ang ano ko lang talagang caveat lang po talaga doon is there are window periods where our testing is very effective, and outside po of the window periods, hindi na po siya masyadong effective yung testing natin. So regardless of what our test results, I'm sure they will, alam nga naman mapapasok tayo ng positive, pero yung negative po, as we talked about earlier, it does not give you the freedom to walk around without your mask.
Yes.
Whether you are the guest, whether you are the bride, the groom, the priest, kahit matanda na si mother, kailangan niya mag-mask.
I wanna talk about that.
Yan, sige, go ahead, Ron. Tapos kung anong din ako pagkatapos mo.
Oh, sorry. I wanna talk about this testing, no? Because Dr. Anna and I were talking about it backstage, that she actually has a friend who's a wedding supplier who has, tama po ba, na swab test na siya 20 times at this point. I don't want to know what her nose feels like. I don't want to be her nose. Because I'm sure, well, as they say, it's not the most comfortable feeling. Okay? So, to have undergone that 20 times para lang po siya ay makapagtrabaho, para po siya magkasahod at kumita at mag-support ng family niya, no? Siyempre, a lot if not all, people in the wedding industry will, pikit mata na lang po para lang matuloy na po ang kabuhayan namin, di ba? But the thing is, I know what's been happening is that the testing is mostly being done only on suppliers. Okay, now I've personally we've heard this that there are situations where only suppliers are required, but guests are not required to do swab tests. And I understand completely coming from our culture, nakakahiya sometimes, no? I think, parents of the couple, they might feel na inimbita ko, nakakahiya, swab test ko pa siya. Para lang to say na you can come into our wedding. But ano po ba yun, Doc? Okay lang ba yun na parang a portion lang yung of the whole, population kumbaga of the event will be undergoing swab test? Ano po yung take nyo doon sa nangyayari?
Miss Rona, thanks so much. I mean, that's really a common question and a common concern that's circulating in the wedding industry today. Because part of the standard contract na po talaga ngayon, dapat maswab po yung mga suppliers and everybody else. Ako po, I understand both sides. Ano po. Tama po kayo that in our culture, and if I were a guest, kung kailangan ko pang mag-swab, lalo na yung mga marami talagang, madali lang po to say the word swab, but there's a lot of fear associated with undergoing that. Even though they say the swabber will come to your house, natatakot pa rin yung mga tao. And I can't, what if they become positive? So, with regards po talaga, I understand talaga yung nahihiya talaga tayo. And baka naman somebody will debate you, is it really necessary to swab? And my answer talaga dito po is it's not eh. It's really not, and it will give you an added comfort, maybe psychological. Pero kung hindi naman ho magbabago yung behavior natin, would our behavior change? Would we remove our mask? Would we remove our face shield? Ang sagot ko po, hindi rin talaga eh. But some people might say, well, I wouldn't let a person near me na hindi na swab. Tama rin naman yun. My take on this matter, Ms. Rona, is that's why I told you there's two yung physical safety, the actual safety, tsaka yung psychological safety. In terms of the actual safety, if everybody wasn't swabbed, wala rin point yung swabbing. Kasi, magkakaroon ka talaga ng loopholes because others were not swabbed. And number two, just by the nature of the test, there are some days nga, I told you dapat may may time na dapat maswab. It is highly possible that outside of the 2 to 9 days exposed, it's actually day 5 to mga day 11 or day 12 of exposure talaga siya. And malaki yung chance na, kasi we don't know, swabbing kasi is not meant to be to catch people na randomly. Swabbing is really meant na if you were exposed, then you know when you're exposed para we can calculate the days and we know we can judge kung anong dapat nating gawin. Hindi siya just grab random people off the street and then swab them and everybody's safe. It doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way. And ganun nangyayari sa wedding industry. So, with regard to the suppliers having to be swabbed, that nahuhulog yan more in the psychological feeling of safety na masabi niyo po sa mga guests, ay swinab yung mga suppliers na yan, don't worry. Pero if you are an intelligent guest, I mean, okay lang na swinab yung mga tao, but you're still not getting near me without a mask or a face shield.
Yes, that's true.
Yeah. So if you're an intelligent guest, you realize na may loopholes yung statement na yon. But for the majority of the people, sometimes nadalala talaga sila na, uy, talagang naghanda sila. So my take on that matter, for the suppliers, talagang wala tayong choice eh. We are the employees in this situation. For the ones naman requiring the swab tests, sana let's think about it muna and then try to think kung Parang psychological lang po yan talaga. Promise, hindi po siya talaga makakasafety talaga ng inyong wedding. And one of the things that I'd like to stress is yung nangyari po sa White House. This is not a political statement, ano po. But definitely, all the guests and the swabbing there po was really happening. Siyempre, US yan eh. They can afford the best testing. White House pa ba naman? And what happened? There were super spreader events when people didn't wear masks. So talagang the answer goes back to number one, IATF and safety guidelines. Talaga. Yun.
Okay. Salamat for that, Doktora. Kasi ako personally, um, we have a family friend, no, getting married early next year, and they've asked for our help to put together the wedding. And yun yung isa sa una naming napag-usapan, yung testing na yan. So, yun nga, they were debating whether to have the supplier tested and gagawin din ba nila sa guest nila because one is they realize na walang point na yung suppliers lang nila yung tested pero yung guest nila hindi tested. Okay, but they also realize kasi ang takbo ng usapan namin is, oh, when will you do the testing? So na-realize nila, if they do it like 48 hours before, alam rin nila na the test result is only as good as the time when you took the test.
Tama.
'Di ba? Kung ano yung
And when
mismong
you
moment na
expose,
yun.
oo.
Yes. So, sabi nila, paano po yun? Sabi ko, ay, kung nag-negative lahat ng suppliers na tinest nyo, it's either, kung talagang gusto mo 100% na hindi na sila ma-expose, ibabubble mo lahat ng suppliers mo.
Yeah.
Tapos ang sabi nila, ganito na lang po, tita. What if as they arrive, nandun na mismo sa place? Sabi ko, paanong gagawin natin kapag may lumabas na hindi
Positive.
na positive, di ba? So, if the wedding is
Paalis
in
po.
Cavite at galing siyang Bulacan, sasabihin natin, umuwi ka na, hindi pwede. So, parang they were really, parang, so ano pong gagawin natin? So, I told them, ako personally, my stand there is, ano yon, personal responsibility. That's why sabi ko it's important that you get professionals in terms of yung suppliers of your choice na trabaho nila yan and they will make sure that they will take care of their employees also na ipapadala sa wedding mo. Okay. And then sabi niya, like, because we're helping them. Sabi niya, tita kayo po. Sabi ko, you know the people that I will be with? Sabi ko, ito ang ano ko dyan, we will bubble 10 days before the wedding, hindi na kami lalabas. And then straight from my house, we go to your wedding. Yun. So, yun, kasi they were really asking for assurance nga dyan sa testing na yan. So, I'm glad that you raised that, Doktora, kasi dilemma for a lot of couples and also sa suppliers. Remember, Rona, we were talking with the GNT, mga ano yan, mga katrabaho ni Doktora rin sa kanyang events business.
And personal friends, oo.
Personal friends. Kinukwento ni Gideon na kakatapos silang kahapon, mamaya may swabbing na naman ako. Diba? So, it's also a concern din sa side ng mga suppliers. So, thank you for raising that point, no? So ulitin lang po natin ang sabi ng doktora, we can do swabbing, but ang na-address talaga noon is your psychological safety, 'di ba? Parang for your peace of mind.
Yes.
Kasi
And it doesn't mean you can skip safety protocols at all. If anything, I think the positive, like a positive test means you cannot join or you cannot enter the premises anymore. But lahat ng negative, you still need to follow safety protocols. Tama po ba?
Definitely po. Definitely. Opo. Miss Sharon, I understand rin po bilang the coordinator. Ang hirap sabihin, wag nang iswab ito. 'Di ba? Kasi pag may nangyari, baka po kayo ang sisihin. I understand that. So, siguro, what you can say is swab everyone. Now, if they don't want to swab everyone, sila po yung magdesisyon doon, di ba? At least, you gave them the proper facts and the proper choices. Ngayon po, if they only want to swab one half, at least sila po yung nagdesisyon noon, knowing the risk and the benefit. Yun, if they don't want to swab anyone. Ay, ito lang if you don't want to swab anyone, it is a perfectly logical choice. And it's actually the better scientific choice. Pero again, may psychological issues kasi pumapasok dyan. So if somebody says, no, I don't want to go to the swabbing route, I just want everyone to follow all the safety protocols talaga. I trust my suppliers. And very logical din po yan. Walang mali po dun sa choice na yun. Gusto ko lang sabihin. And then, Miss Sharon, talagang yung sa pagbabubble ng mga employees, um, that's also okay. Pero kuminsan, life gets in the way. Ibabaraks mo ba sila? Ang haba na ng usapan eh. At saka, yung mga construction sites, they were trying to form bubbles. And ang ano kasi ng Department of Public Works and Highways is i-test lahat sila in the beginning, and then i-barrack sila para hindi na sila uuwi every 2 weeks. Pero life, syempre meron pa ring may asawa, merong may personal emergency, nangyayari talaga yun eh. So, the best talaga is to get the best suppliers and trust them na lang. And again, rule number 1, mask, face shield, social distancing. Kasama talaga
Yes,
yun.
follow the Yan. So,
We have,
So, we are able to put the well, for now, na-address natin ang testing. Pero tama, Doc, no? Swab testing, if you wanna do it, it's fine.
Still the best.
Rapid testing, definitely a no-no. Tama? Kasi may mga
Yung
nagra-rapid
antibody
testing pa
testing.
rin.
Yes. Oo. Yung rapid testing is rapidly falling out of favor, I'm glad to say. It's still existing in some places, pero talagang if you want to answer the question, is your guest nakakahawa? Is the bride nakakahawa? Are the suppliers nakakahawa? Rapid antibody testing talaga won't give you that answer. Kasi, it's a late test. It can tell you kung na-COVID na yung mga tao in the past. It won't tell you about their present. And syempre yung present yung natin, yung iniisip natin. There is a new kind of testing coming out, yung rapid antigen testing. Nangyayari na yon, but not yet 100%, and it's a little hard to find pa at this point.
All right.
The rapid antigen testing is actually also okay. It's not yet widely used. It's an okay test, a rapid antigen testing, because it can answer yung immediacy ng issue, like nakakahawa ba ako ngayon. If you're positive there, you need to stay home also.
We have questions coming in, so thank you so much for sending us your questions. Keep sending it to us. Dr. Anna is here. I'm so confident for you to send questions because she's here and she's going to answer it.
Yes.
So first is how to minimize transmission when it's time to eat at the reception. Ayan. So I guess we can already say this, that ito po talaga yung portion ng wedding where we have to be, our guards need to really be up, and we really need to make sure that it is executed safely. Not more than the reception, more than any other part of the wedding. Tama po kayo, Miss Marian. It's really the reception, the eating portion that we need to guard against. So, Dr. Anna?
Yes, Miss Rona, thanks also, Miss Marian, for this question. Kasi talagang Filipino tayo. Okay? Eating is part of our culture. And in other countries, sa UK, US, talagang it's very acceptable for people to eat alone. Ganon. Diba nakikita natin sa mga restaurant? Never will you find a Filipino na pumunta sa restaurant na mag-isa, except talagang kumain lang tayo or waiting for somebody. Diba? Kumain lang tayo for work-based. Ganon. Or we're waiting for somebody. Pero yun talagang it's a social activity for us. And it's actually, some people go to the reception lang para kumain. Lalo na kung masarap, no? And guaranteed yung mga caterers natin dito sa wedding industry, talagang magagaling. So, unfortunately, it's also the only time in the ceremony kung talagang strict po lahat ng tao. That's the only time po talaga na magtatanggalan po tayo ng mask. So talagang issue po talaga yan. Sa mga ganito po, I'd like to bring in the word ventilation na po, yung pagdaloy po ng hangin natin. As we all know already at this point po, outdoors is better than indoors. So kung type nyo pong mag-garden wedding, pool wedding, or what, that's also advised. Sana po open air, we also know that. We seat people po not directly in front of each other, yung Z formation, yung ganun po, no? And then again, before we used to have round tables of 10 po. Talagang mababawasan. Dadami po yung mga tables because I would suggest removing some of the chairs po and some of the settings. And then again po, meron din po acrylic barriers, nakakatulong din po yon. And then, of course, we trust naman our food servers kasi po talagang full safety naman po sila. I trust our caterers. So yun po yung masasabi ko about eating. And again po, no, if you are uncomfortable, pwede naman po to attend the wedding and to go home before the food. Pabalot nyo na lang, pero malungkot din po yun eh. So, as long as we follow the safety protocols naman po, I think we'll be okay. And
Does it
siguro,
matter
electric fans
kung,
can also help.
does it matter kung buffet or plated? Meron bang mas nagnanaig na na
Anong
service?
safest way na type of service, Doktora?
Sa akin po, no, as long as, of course, plated is much safer kasi everyone's yun lang po yung yung inyo yon, no, nobody touches it, and that's actually the ideal ngayon. Pati nga ho sa inuman, plated inuman, can you believe that? At saka po plated yung kinukuhanan po ng kanila pong pika-pika is also plated,
Cocktail?
and much safer po talaga.
Eh,
Kung
pero
sakaling magba-buffet naman po, institute na lang po the proper, which is walang crowding sa buffet, isa-isa lang po. And siguro po, we just ask the server na lang po to be in charge para hindi na po natin kakalkalin lahat ng pagkain.
because I'm hearing yun nga, before, di ba, everybody was saying, buffets, wala na yan. It's out. Mamamatay na po yan. But now, talking to some couples who are getting married, some caterers are telling them that buffets are safer. And I think this is because, syempre, pag plated, yung waiter will put the food down on your table. So, magkakatabi kayo ng waiter, right? As opposed to, let's say, a buffet that's well managed na unang-una, 'di ba? Table of 4, so kayong apat lang tatayo. You're the only ones allowed to line up, and then there's social distancing in the line, 'di ba? Hindi yung tulad noon na kasi when we say buffet, the way we see buffet is siksikan, and then while you're getting the food, nagbubulungan pa kayo. Uy, mukha ba yung masarap? Kuha ka niyan. Or parang kunan mo ako nung ganyang dessert na yan. Di ba? Wala nang space yung plate ko. Di ba? That's how we used to do buffets. But now, it will be one at a time, I think. And I don't know how caterers are doing it. I think some of them, yun nga, parang it's managed, right? Managed buffet where a server will put on your plate. Is that also safe? Like if there's proper flow of the room, yung there's only one direction na ito lang po yung way para hindi kayo magkakabanggaan, di ba? Parang sa malls, sa labas. Is that still safe?
Miss Rona, working with food service professionals, and talagang mga professionals to mga to talaga, I have 100% confidence that they can handle a buffet in the safest manner possible. Yung mga caterers talaga natin will adjust. Ako talagang sigurado naman akong susundan nila yon. So sa akin, a properly managed buffet is also safe. But I wanted to bring up a certain point rin na baka hindi rin nasa stress ng mga tao, okay? What is exposure to COVID? Okay? What do we term an exposure? Ito ba yung dumating yung waiter sa tabi mo at pinatong yung plato? Na-expose ka na ba doon? For example, binigay sa iyo yung bouquet nung florist, na-expose na ba kayo doon? So, I would like to reassure everyone, no, it's not somebody na anyone who is more than 6 feet away, safe kayo doon. Ngayon, lumapit si server, binigay yung plato nyo. Ito lang yung definition po natin. I'd like to state again. Kasi not everyone knows this eh. Akala natin may dumaan lang na may COVID or what. Or may dumaan lang na tao sa harap natin, exposure na yon. Or yung kapitbahay natin na COVID exposure na yon. So, exposure from COVID or what we call valid exposures po sa mga doktor is 15 minutes po of interaction or talking Kung may singing po, punta natin sa singing later. Kung may singing po, singing is actually rated higher than coughing and sneezing. Yeah. So, forceful talking, and usual, ano po that was first formulated without mask. Kasi po, you can enter the room ngayon of a patient and both of you are masked at may COVID yung pasyente, hindi po kayo mamamatay basta you just really wear a mask. And dami na po talagang documented na matagal nag-usap with a COVID person, basta naka-mask, okay lang sila. So, it is really 15 minutes of prolonged exposure of 2 hours po talaga in an air-conditioned room without ventilation. So, yung tinanong mo, Miss Rona, can a server give you food? Yes, a server can give you food. Even if that server had COVID, and siguro kung na-swab naman siya, and may health protocols naman yung tao, at hindi naman papasok pag inuubo, likelihood talaga ng COVID ng taong yun is really low. So your exposure, I would say that's not even counted as an exposure. So don't worry about that. Ang talagang exposures natin, yung nag-usap talaga po na walang mask. Yun po talaga. With regards to surfaces, I just wanted to share also new information on surfaces. Right now po, no, dati po maraming balita about doorknobs, ball pens, Lazada packages, groceries, ganun po. Further studies have shown po that we cannot say that the surfaces exposure is zero, pero definitely po, mas mababa na po ngayon ang importansyang binibigay sa surfaces and more importance po talaga on ventilation, aerosols po, and droplets. So, yun. So, kaya nga
Oh,
mask. Ayun.
So Doc, para linawin, tama rin ba
Oh,
ang
yes, don't
pagkakaintindi ko?
panic. Kailangan
Ang
matagal yung
ang
exposure nyo, okay?
ang transmission is really, yun kasi sabi niyo, ventilation, ganyan. Kailangan mag-usap or siguro mabahinan ka, maubuhan ka nung taong may virus or ganun ba yun? Yun
Oo,
yung tinatawag na
yes.
exposure.
Our definition of exposure is not na may dumaan sa'yo na maharap ng COVID, gano'n, binigyan ka ng plato, gano'n, in the 1 minute, 30 seconds interactions, which is good because um, kasi kung minsan napapanik na talaga tayo because we are lay persons. Many of us are lay. We don't know. We interpret exposure to mean dumaan sa harap natin yung tao. Don't worry, it is 15 minutes of prolonged talking or talagang if you cared for an active COVID patient, talagang literal na nabahinan po kayo and usually by people without masks or 2 hours exposure po in a non-ventilated room. Kasi po, nagkaroon po ng mga COVID studies sa mga BPOs na talaga pong sarado, meron talaga magkakasakit doon.
Alright. So, again, mas
So don't
maganda pa
panic,
rin pag
guys.
outdoor.
Yes, don't panic. You can have momentary interactions. Majority naman of them will be COVID negative, okay? You can have momentary interactions with persons. Basta wag lang ho kayong makipagchismisan ng 15 minutes without mask. You'll practically be almost 98%, 96% safe. Ganun po.
Alright.
So I think
Yun.
that's something
Doc,
that parang kumalma yung mga tao, yung dumaan lang, binigay yung
Yes.
binigay yung misalet. Hindi po yun.
Yes.
Okay,
Kaya po, di ba,
okay.
pag nag-grocery, it's not as risky kung hindi ka nakipagchikahan. I mean, if you didn't stop and then, chika ka with, I don't know, somebody or something like that. And that's why I think there's much more reminders about this season of Christmas because the 15 minutes of talking is really more likely to happen in settings like small intimate gatherings, di ba?
Yes.
You gather at home na different
Alam mo,
household.
pinaka-mask naman kayong dalawa. Oo, yeah. It's okay.
Yeah.
Naka-face shield kayo. It's okay.
So yun lang din, no? Paalala lang po na if you are, doing these small gatherings, because I know the IATF has allowed a certain amount of people together. Tama po ba? I think it's 10. But again, as we always say, that does not mean you may skip safety protocols. So, even if nanay niyo po yan, pero hindi po kayo sa isang bahay nakatira, or, close po kayo, relative niyo po yan, the safety protocols still have to be in place. We have another question, Doc. Tama po ba not to invite muna our seniors or lolas and lolas to the wedding. It looks like this virus isn't going away anytime soon.
Should we bring lolos and lolas to the wedding? First question po, ano po ang pakiramdam ni lola or lolo about going? If they don't wanna go, then tapos na yung kwento, no? Number two, if they really wanna go, I can't say don't bring them. Kasi po sensitive din po ako sa mental health ng mga seniors. Kasi masakit lang, malungkot din po yung maiwanan na lang forever sa bahay. And a wedding can be a momentous event. Kung sakali pong they want to stay at home and they're comfortable at home, na Zoom na lang sila, then that's fine. If mag-i-insist po talaga sila, hindi po ako yung magsasabing huwag nyo silang dalhin, but maybe with caution. And then number three is, ask them if they really want to eat. Pwede rin pong ceremony na lang, di po ba? I mean, if they really want to eat rin po talaga, maybe they can eat ahead. Maybe they can eat later. Isa po yan. Okay? Kasi alam po natin, yung mga seniors nasa vulnerable population. Marami po talagang magagalit sa akin ito because they're in an ongoing battle with their parents na wag lumabas ng bahay. Okay? Aminin na natin, a lot of us are like that. Meron pang mga lumalabas po sa Facebook, yung mga anak mas stricto pa daw kaysa sa parents. Ganun po na parang ano. But again, I'm pleading for mental health din naman po. So what I can say po is my answer would be yes with cautions and precautions po.
Yeah.
Mindful of mental health.
And I would go ahead, Michelle.
I was going to say na nag-usap kami ni Doktora prior to this. I told her yung experience ko when I attended one wedding during this pandemic. The ninongs and the ninangs, usually mga senior na yung mga yan, they were there at the ceremony. Of course, the whole time, they were wearing their mask at naka-face shield pa nga sila. But during the reception, kumonte yung bisita. Because
Yes,
a lot of the
tumuloy,
ninongs,
oo.
hindi na tumuloy. Ang ano naman nila is, yung kasal naman kasi is the ceremony. So they're there nung kinasal yung couple. And yun na yung way nila of celebrating with the couple. So they opted not to go to the reception anymore kasi dun nga yung kainan plus indoor venue siya. So they weren't comfortable na to be going to the reception anymore. Ayan. Tapos may follow-up question si Rona, si Marian. Napag-usapan na natin, Doktora, ang mga senior. Ang mga children, ang mga kids, ayan. Ngayon, may ongoing debate yan kung papapasukin ba sa mall o hindi. Pwede ba magsama ng mga... Tapos na ba?
Yeah, parang 70-0, the mayors all voted no. After the Pediatric Society.
Siyempre, nag-iingat
Oh, okay.
Nag-iingat. Sa akin, Miss Sharon, a wedding talaga is a family affair. So, should you bring your kids? Well, first of all, eto lang, etiquette din, were the kids invited? Kasi 'di ba, prior naman talaga dito, dami-daming issues naman hindi naman inibita yung mga bata, dinala lahat, lalo na po sa mga informal na mga barangay weddings, 'di ba? I guess, first of all, etiquette, ano yung comfort level po nung mga tao kung dadalhin niyo yung anak niyo? Number two, ano yung ages ng mga kids? Are they educated enough to wear mask and face shield po? And then number three, kung may role po yung mga bata doon, then I guess I would say yes with caution again po. Iba po kasi yung bring your kids and let them run around wild. Iba po yung bring disciplined children for a short amount of time. Yun po.
That's right. May isa pang question, Doc.
Okay.
Safe po ba ang naka-face shield lang without face mask or dapat po both?
Ay, ma'am, wala pa pong studies na face shield lang. So talagang most of the studies are actually on masks eh. So I would stay mask pa rin. Para maging masaya yung mask, but hindi nyo Meron naman hong mga white masks or whatever po na maganda or ano po, mga cloth mask na pagandahin niyo po para gumanda, ma-uplift din yung mood niyo.
Now, actually, I've seen face shields also being embellished. So, kayo po, if you're getting married, meron po kayong ninong at ninang na gusto nyong imbitahin, pwede nyo po yan ipadala kay ninong at nina, ay kay ninang pala, wag nyo po i-embellish yung kay ninong. Kay ninang, no, pwede nyong lagyan ng konting crystals na may konting pa-pearls dyan. I've seen it. It's being done. And, I think it's a thoughtful thing you can absolutely give your ninangs or, titas and titos who might be towards the senior citizen age range. I think that, I might do that if I were getting married. You have, daming nagsasend ng mga thank you daw, Doc. Joy says you are so practical and sensible, Doc. Thank you. And I think they're really...
Good morning, Joy. Oo, nanonood si Joy De Hoya. Good morning, Joy.
They really appreciate how you're able to just lay it down for us and explain to us.
Oo, na naiintindihan, Rona. Hindi yung masyadong scientific na parang, woo, I cannot relate, di ba? Ito, naiintindihan natin na hindi kailangan na medyo nag-aral tayo ng science para maintindihan siya ng mabuti. Doc, going back to the question, tinanong kasi kung face shield or mask. So definitely mask talaga kasi nandun yung pag-aaral na mask ang effective. Ano ang face mask? Ayan. Kasi ang dami pong lumalabas at ginawa ng kabuhayan to ng iba rin na mask, 'di ba? Ito na yung source of income. Pero ano ba yung tamang mask na isusuot, especially if you are attending a wedding na medyo 2 hours ang iyong program o yung reception and you're going to use it for 2 hours?
Surgical masks are very much okay for normal activities. Hindi po kailangan yung N95. Those are the cup-shaped masks na nakikita po natin na sinusuot po ng mga doktor. There's no need for that, okay? Kasi po talagang the grip po noon talagang nagmamarka po talaga dito because it's the fit of the mask talaga that will provide the protection. So no need po doon, okay? Unless you're performing surgery, okay? Or what? Don't wear that. Don't wear that. Kasi po, unless you really are sanay. But for the regular lay person, a surgical mask is more than enough. Kung actually yung sensibly face mask na may layers po na cloth is also very much okay po. Kung nawo-worry po kayo dun sa 2 hours na isusuot nyo, baka hindi nyo nakayanan, there's a personal electric fan, pwede po yun eh. You can bring that if it will make you more comfortable po. Or a personal paypay, wala rin po. Ako, I go really to the supermarket, to the grocery stores with talagang matindi ako magpaypay. And actually, that's good for steering air rin around you eh, para hindi din ventilation din po yun.
Okay. Ayan, sabi ni Landrika, nag-notes ako.
Yeah.
Nag-notes ako, sabi niya.
Ayan, I think she's talking to her friend. Ayan.
Oo, nag-uusap sila, nag-notes. Doktora, talking about the ventilation, marami ako nakikita, pati rin sa kapwa wedding suppliers natin, merong sinusuot na, ano ba yon? Personal ionizer ba yon? Does that really work? Meron bang studies for that?
Ito ba yung around the neck? Or ito yung naka-hood?
Hindi, yung around the neck. Yung sinusuot nila as a necklace?
Around the neck, again, what I can tell people, wala talagang studies yung around the neck eh. Unless it's an electric fan, natitipat mo sa mukha mo para you can wear the mask. That's okay, yung around the neck po, kung gusto niyo naman I mean, wala namang masama. But again, it doesn't change anything that you're supposed to be doing. Nakakadagdag lang. We don't know kung nakakadagdag. Kung may extra income naman at gusto niyong bumili, there's nothing wrong. Opo.
Right.
So, I guess it addresses again the psychological safety again.
Psychological siya talaga. Tama yun, Sharon.
So, and I guess that's something that's very real for us, for everybody that's tuned in. it's okay that you have hesitations kasi I know that this is also happening if you're inviting guests or relatives. Not everybody is ready to go out, hindi po ba? Not everybody is ready na to go to a gathering and things like that. And syempre may push may ano yan may push and pull siya, no? The couples might feel bad na they don't want to come, but also
Ayaw nilang
meron
pumunta.
meron din side na may mga guests na they feel bad na bakit naman hindi tayo naimbita, ready naman ako pumunta. So, kung kayo po ay ikakasal, and you have guests who are, not saying, I'm sorry, I love you, pero hindi pa ako ready, psychologically parang, I don't want to go out yet. Is that okay, Doc?
Oo naman, Miss Rona, thank you for that question and I wanted to bring that up. Ako rin, ah, two principles here. The one of honesty, okay? Be honest, be open, ganon. Kung hindi talaga nyo kaya talaga, sabihin nyo na lang, hindi ko pa kaya, okay? Number two, kung kayo rin po ang mag-iimbita, be honest also. I know it's hard, but pick up the phone po, the cell phone and text. Are you okay to go? Kung sumagot naman po sila na hindi, or may nakikita po kayo, wag na po kayo mag-insist. Na pumunta. Yung iba naman ho, talagang hindi na lang nangimbita para hindi na ho maano ito. What I could suggest to everyone during this time, lawakan po natin yung ating pag-unawa. Okay?
Yes.
On both sides. Lawakan po natin. This is a sensitive time. My husband is a mayor and a doctor. Sabi niya, mommy, wala namang wrong decision ngayon kasi pamilya nila yun eh. And pamilya natin to. What our family will decide kahit magkakapatid pa kayo, iba dun sa kabilang pamilya. And again, second is respect. Kung ano man yung magiging desisyon ng bawat isa, please respetuhin po natin because at the end, after the pandemic, we're still family, di ba? We're still friends. And kung rinespeto natin yung isa't isa, wala tayong magiging problema.
Right. Ganda nung
Well
sinabi niyo.
said, Doktor. Oo, kasi ngayon, Doktor, alam mo, may mga cases talaga akong nalalaman na nagkakatampuhan, na nasisira yung friendship. Kasi may ibang couples na ang tingin nila, iilan na lang ang inimbita ko, piling-pili, tapos you cannot come pa, you will not go pa to my wedding. So, on both sides, nagkakatampuhan or may friend na we've been together since kindergarten tapos hindi ako napasama doon sa 35 guests. So may mga strained friendships and relationships because of
Oh my
because
God.
of what's happening.
Yeah.
Oo. So yun. Thank you for pointing that out na kailangan talaga mahaba ang pasensya, malalim ang pag-uunawa natin sa isa't isa because these are difficult times and wala namang dumaan pa ng pandemic. So we are managing things as we go along and ever evolving kasi everyday may bago tayong natututunan. Diba? So salamat Doc for raising that kasi wala nga sa notes ko yan eh. But yeah, I guess that's very important also as part of hosting a wedding or attending a wedding, no? Dapat it's there at the back of our minds. Yan. Doc, may isa pong tanong na pumasok from Maricar De Jesus. Yeah, maybe we can show that. Yan. Do you recommend wearing of PPEs for suppliers? Nakikita rin natin yan, Doc, sa ating mga news feeds na naka-PPEs ang mga suppliers. Sometimes sa katanghalian, di ba? Lalo na yung mga pre ng pictorial, balot na balot ng mga suppliers natin, naka-PPE. Does this help? Or is that a recommendation?
Ako in the beginning talaga, and up to yung mga doktor nga, mali pa yung pagsusuot ng PPE kasi some people will go on rounds wearing PPE then up to their house, in the car, and kung ano man yung dumikit pa sa yung nasa hospital, dumikit pa sa damit nila, no? So, much less, this is the concept of PPE. It's protective personal equipment. It's to protect you from anything that you might encounter, usually in a hospital or an industrial setting. So, sa akin, it's not necessary for and the PPE won't protect you from the supplier. It might even actually protect the supplier. But feeling ko naman po, in isang wedding, hindi naman po nagtatagisan ng COVID kanan at kaliwa doon or body fluids. Maybe lechon juice for the caterers, but no. I mean, no. I mean, hindi naman siguro, I really don't think that the place is that infective na kailangan po ng PPE. Okay? But again, dito pumapasok yung psychological feeling. Eh kung masaya yung grupo na naka-PPE kayo, anong masama? Kung kayo naman, yung mga employees mo, feeling empowered na naka-PPE sila, anong masama doon, di ba? Wala naman pong masama. So I guess it's now starting to fall into the psychological aspect of it. And then, well, maganda naman siyang branding, di ba? Like, yung company mo, itatak mo doon sa PPE. And you impress everybody. But it's, at this point talaga, more of a branding opportunity, more of a psychological. Hindi na po talagang, I wouldn't say it will protect us. Well, it can protect your street clothes, pero again, in reality, sa akin po, hindi. But again, kung gusto nila, wala namang masama.
Right.
And then you
Alright.
buy na lang po the PPE na breathable, meron na po ngayon.
I breathable.
Na talagang po siya, parang na siya, yung hindi na talaga yung pawis natin, grabe. We're not
Yes.
healthcare professionals and thank God we are.
Oo. Salamat for that, Doc. Kasi I know for a fact that for some couples, para criteria yan nila to decide kung sino suppliers ang kukunin nila. Oo, na parang ito kinuha ko kasi very safe na safe ang pakiramdam ko kapag sila kasi nagpi-PPE sila.
Right.
Again, sabi nga ni doktora, hindi mo rin matatawaran yung psychological safety that that it gives you. But also thank you doktora for pointing it out. Kapag naka-PPE po ang supplier sa inyong wedding, it's not meant to protect you.
Yes, that's right.
Or kung supplier ako, it's to protect me. Na kung ano man ang maibahin sa akin, to protect my regular clothes. Ayun. So, just to put things in perspective. Kasi minsan yan minsan make or break yan na sino bang coordinator ang pipiliin ko? Eto kasi nagpi-PPE sila kapag nagko-coordinate sila. So, yan, hindi.
Kaya di ba ang nagpi-PPE ay yung doktor? Kasi nga, they have to keep meeting, they have to keep going to so many different patients, so they need to protect themselves, no? But again, like as Ms. Sharon pointed out, the PPE protects the wearer, not the humans outside the PPE. Balik pa rin po tayo sa...
Oo. So, sa akin naman, kung hindi naman nakaka-harm yun, so okay lang.
Oo, yun. Kung makakatulong sa psychological wellness mo nga habang kinakasal ka, na ang feeling mo safe na safe ka kasi naka-PPE lahat ng suppliers mo, at may budget naman din ang mga suppliers, no? It's part of their protocol din. Then go ahead. But I guess siguro yun nga, Doc, na minsan may mga unreasonable demands din na i-require yung supplier na kailangan mag-PPE kayo. So, I mean, just so we know ano yung facts. Oo, diba?
Patahin na lang kayo ng comfortable jumpsuits. Yun ang suot nyo lahat. O, the PPE siya. Lagyan nyo ng hood. O, the PPE na siya. Wala naman kasing standard ngayon talaga. Wala namang gobyernong standard for a wedding. So, you can actually be quite creative. Everyone will wear shorts and then yung jumpsuit nyo hanggang dito. It's actually quite cute.
Yeah, okay. Yan, Doc. I can't believe it's been an hour, pero meron pa akong gustong itanong, Doc. Siguro quick points, no? So we've talked about yung adults, yung bringing kids. So, tapos sabi nyo nga, yung prolonged exposure, kunyari mga 2 hours. So, yeah, let's talk about naman, Doc, yung reception program. So if you're saying na tama ba yun na you really have to keep your reception programs shorter now?
Sana, kasi again, it's the length of exposure kasi talaga eh. So the faster it is, the better naman po.
Okay. Tapos Doc, ang tanong nga dyan.
Tingnan din natin yung mood ng mga tao. Baka ayaw na talaga nilang maging 4 na oras unlike before. So, tansyahan talaga yan, Miss Sharon. Kasi right
All
now
right.
talagang wala, iba na talaga yung mood ng mga tao. Pero I wanted to bring up din yung ano, yung this can open up lots of possibilities, yung mga Zoom weddings, creativity niyo na lang po talaga ang kailangan diyan.
Okay. Pero Doc, kunyari sa live wedding 'no, okay ba na magpapa-live entertainment? Merong sabi niyo nga, kanina sabi mo nung nag-study ng without mask, mas matindi
Singing talaga,
ang singing than coughing.
oo.
So,
Talaga
okay
naawa ko
ba
mga singer.
oo, okey pero naka-mask Doc, magma-mask ang singer, okay ba yun that I will have,
Wala pa
a
kasing
live
ay
entertainment?
Ma'am Sharon, oo, Miss Sharon and Miss Rona, wala kasing nagko-conduct ng mga randomized controlled trials of singers with or without masks, eh, wala. And half of them are put in the singing category and half of them are in the mask, no mask. Walang gano'n, eh. But definitely, this came out of observational studies, of different choirs in different countries na nagkaroon talaga ng events. But again, as Miss Rona said, these people were not wearing masks. Pero talagang I'm not one kasi to say na it's okay to sing with a mask kasi walang study eh. So hangga't maaari, ilayo na lang si singer, solo yung mask niya, ay solo yung ano niya, solo yung, kasi talagang hindi ko masasabi sa iyo kung mahahawa yung banda o hindi eh. Yun.
So,
Hindi ko
ang
talaga masasabi kung
recommendation mo
mahahawa yung banda. Ako
ang
siguro string
recommendation mo ba
instrument,
'to?
pwede mag-violin na lang, harp, ganun.
At Dok, pero kung talagang gusto ng singer, ang recommendation mo, ilagay sa isolated
Ilayo na
stage
lang niya
sa
yung sarili
singer?
niya, oo, ilayo na lang niya yung sarili niya at solo niya yung mic. Ay ito, some, MCs and I've seen this, some MCs bring their own mics na lang, ha. Ako
Yes.
rin, I do talk in public, sometimes I tend to bring my own mic.
Yeah. I was going to say that also. I think that's what's happening for people who are often doing public speaking is invest na po kayo ng sarili nyong mic para wag na po kayo magpasahan from host to MC and all of that. I think that's something that you can do. Siguro on a supplier side, no? Baka host po kayo, a wedding host or something, or maybe a lights and sound supplier. It's something you can suggest to couples na parang hindi na po tayo magganon ng mic.
Oo,
Siguro
hindi
wala na
naman
po
mga oo.
kung may singing, wala na po yung sing along with me. Wala nang ganon po siguro dun sa singer. Diba, minsan papaganon tayo. Kung alam niyo po yung chorus, let's sing. No na po, no. Kayo na lang po.
Ay, oo, I would not sing ngayon in public, sorry talaga. Oo, talagang ayoko diyan. And
Oo.
backed by science, backed by science, not personal, ano.
Yes.
So, palaisipan yan sa mga gumagawa po ng inyong wedding reception program. Even po sa church, Doc, does that go with that, yung mga choir?
I made a video on that. Talagang ako, I'm not in favor of church choirs. I am really not in favor of church choirs. Lalo na if they need to be together. Pero how will they vocalize naman pag magkakalayo, di ba? So, I've seen church choirs singing with masks, but hindi ko siya pwedeng basbasan, Miss Sharon.
Alright. Alright. Sige. Ang dami-dami pang pwedeng itanong, Doc, but again, we're bound by time, but we'd like to have you back again, siguro in a couple of weeks again, dahil by that time, baka may mga iba na namang development sa
Yes,
science.
vaccines are gonna come into this, Miss
Yes,
Sharon.
oo. So, ibang angle naman, I mean, ibang angle, may bagong perspective tayo, no? So, we'd like to invite you back again, Doktora. But, yes, kung we'd like to ask you, Doc, kung meron kayo ibibilin, ipababaon sa kanila, especially sa mga ikakasal in the next few days, next few weeks, hanggang January yan, mukhang sunod-sunod na, no, ang mga kasal, dahil ito ang season ng kasalan sa Pilipinas. Ano po, Doktora, ang ipapabaon niyo sa kanila? And also invite them, Doc, meron kang regular. Kung natuwa po kayo kay Doktora this morning, meron po siyang regular live, Facebook live, weekly or everyday ba, Doc? Imbitahin mo rin sila.
Yes, thanks to Sharon and Miss Rona for inviting me talaga. I like, ano, salamat din sa mga nagpuna na very practical. Kasi sometimes, medicine can be an abstract knowledge, but what is important is how we apply it to our everyday life. And doon talaga tayo magiging safe if we understand, and then we can adapt and apply what we learn. Kasi iba yung pagdadakdak lang ng mga doktor, sometimes di natin nakukuha talaga, and what's more, it's not even applicable sa araw-araw na nangyayari. So, you know that you're successful when people can apply it sa pang-araw-araw talaga. And I'd like to encourage everyone po. We do have a live Facebook, siguro 3 to 4 times a week po. You can ask questions. We just recently discussed epilepsy, safe Christmas, premature birth. So, ang dami po talaga na that need to be addressed and talked about in a down-to-earth manner. And lastly, I'd like to congratulate itong Love Wins at saka Themes and Motives. Kasi you're doing a great public service kayong dalawa, aside from, of course, helping the wedding suppliers in the wedding industry. But again, malaking bagay po talaga ito, mapag-usapan po talaga ito. And we put it into a practical context. So sa inyo pong lahat, I'd like to congratulate you all sa lahat ng nagpaplanong ikasal. Please do so because mental health, love, togetherness, and hope are very important during this difficult time.
Salamat, Doc, for that message. Meron pong pahabol na tanong. Pwede pa ba 'tong
Sure.
sagutin, Rona? Huling-huli na 'to kay ano, Doc, tama po ba na puwedeng walang mask ang bride at groom kapag nagwa-walk down the aisle? Since you have mentioned na ang exposure to COVID ay 15 minutes interaction, talking or talking.
Pwede naman. Oo, pwede. Wag lang kakanta-kanta ng kanilang theme song ha, habang
Oo.
bumababa.
Oo.
Ayan, oh, 'di ba very
Okay.
practical ang tip ni Doc, yan.
You may cry, you may not sing.
Oo.
Ayan. Okay, guys. Salamat na salamat.
Thank you, Landrika, for your
Thank
question.
you.
And if you have any more questions for Doc Anna, just send it to us. We'll try to put them together and answer them at a separate time. So thank you, Doc Anna, for enlightening us and really explaining to us in a simple manner that love can win, tuloy ang kasal, and love is immune. So thanks, everybody, and we'll see you again next week for another episode of Love Wins Live Forum. Bye.
Bye.